Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our LifeWave and X39 introductory call, or Zoom, I should say. My name is Robin Blank Mascari. I'm your host for this evening. It's my pleasure to be with you. I love this company. It's absolutely changed my life and my health and my financial health and my future. And I'm thrilled. We have a very bright future, as we just recently heard. So this evening, what we're going to do is an introduction to this wonderful company that is now 16 years old, and then talk a little bit about the technology and the star of our show, which is our patch called X39, our stem cell activation patch. It does many, many more things. And we'll bring on our special guest, Dr. Walter Young, who is an acupuncture physician, and he's going to be here to, share a little bit more about why is this such a special thing that we're dealing with, and why, as a healthcare practitioner, he is incorporating that into his practice. Explain a little bit about the technology, and then and we'll also talk about our founder and owner and inventor, David Schmidt. And then it's your turn. So if you have a testimonial to share, please raise your hand and I will call on you. If you have a question, write it in the chat. And remember that we are not here to treat, diagnose, or cure any diseases. We are a natural products company, so please, symptoms only in your questions and your testimonials. We really appreciate that. We're very big on compliance. Okay, so let's get started. It's cold here. I don't know about where you guys are, but I think it's below zero. We're in Montana and we love winter, so don't feel sorry for us. We're here because we love it and it's beautiful. Okay, let's jump in here. So LifeWave, this company was birthed in 2004, 16 years ago. And it is the brainchild of David Schmidt. The company started out, actually, David had invented a product before the company was founded, and he was on a contract for the Navy SEALs, and he created this product. They wanted something where they could be on their little mini subs. It's an individual submarine. And sometimes they have to be there for days on end, and to be awake, alert, without stimulants, without drugs, without caffeine. And our very first product was born out of that. It is a product using a technology called light therapy or photobiomodulation. And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. And it was very successful, except things changed. The government changed their focus after 9/11, and it needed a new home. And LifeWave was born, and David launched this product called the Energy Enhancer. And this product actually accesses 500 calories of your body fat to actually create a clean flow of energy throughout your body. And if you need more energy, you get more. If you need less, you get less. Everything, the body's always designed to come to a state of homeostasis. And that's what the patches do. They support the body in being the miracle that it is. The patches don't do the work, your body does the work. And the company was born and had so far 3 phases. The very first phase, was called more of the symptom phase 1, where the energy patch came out. And then David noticed that there was some pain relief properties to that patch. And he did some tweaking in the lab and created the Ice Wave, which is a powerful pain relief patch. And the vast majority of people get instant or rapid pain relief from simply, naturally, affordably, and powerfully. It's quite amazing. And then the Silent Night came out, which actually increases your body's own melatonin. It creates melatonin in the body. And then, so that's phase 1. And then David moved into the anti-aging phase. In that phase, what happens is we kind of put the brakes on the aging process, and there's 3 patches in the Y-Age series called carnosine, eon, and glutathione. And then 10 years ago, David started researching regenerative science. And in January of 2018, the launch of the star of the show, X39, came out. David did an international tour introducing this to the world, and dramatic changes happened with the company. Company had been around for quite a while. Well, the first year that patch came out, that product, the company tripled in sales. And then the second year, it more than 2.5 times what the year before. So we are on a very steep growth curve, and a lot of exciting things happen. We're going to get into the details in just a minute. So the company is international. We have headquarters in Galway, Ireland, and manufacturing there, and manufacturing and distribution also in San Diego. There are 14 distribution centers around the world, serving over 75 countries all over the world. And it's a seamless, transparent, a seamless operation. So you can order from wherever you are, ship anywhere in the world, which is very exciting. And David, let's talk about David a little bit. David is an inventor first and foremost. He's also our CEO. He has some unique capabilities that he can actually have a business brain and a science brain at the same time, and do both of them extremely well. We are very blessed. We are most excited about his discoveries, because what he's discovering in the lab, other people say isn't possible, and say, it's you just can't do that. And then they look and see the science behind it, and he's done it. And behind David is over 100 patents and patent pendings. Ever since he was a little kid, he was always tinkering, taking things apart, trying to figure things out, been fascinated with the power of nature and this amazing human body, and how to really transform the whole experience of the aging process. So David loves the science, and he's always in the lab, and as the company invests millions and millions of dollars into research. We have independent studies from independent labs. We have clinical studies. We have double blinds. There's currently over 100 studies on our products, on their efficacy, on validating what we say, and we don't make any claims without having clinical proof behind it, which is very exciting to us, and what's attracted thousands and thousands of healthcare practitioners, because these products actually enhance the clinical outcome. They love it because it's got the science, but they love it even more because it works, and it makes their work with their patients and clients even more effective. And so then David, he just keeps working and doing amazing things. So I wanted to share a little bit about what happened in the early days with the company. When that first patch came out, I'm kind of going back a little bit. When the first patch came out in 2004, one day David got a call from Richard Quick, who is the Olympic swim team coach for the women's swim team, who's based out of Stanford. And he said to David, 6 of my 8 swimmers did their personal best the first time they used your product. And the word got out. Literally, it spread all over the world, was all through the media. And there were some people that were thinking, the US team was doping, and they tested everyone. Our products are non-transdermal, which means nothing is going in the body other than a frequency of light. And the company took off, and the rest is history. David created all these other products, and I talked to you about the different phases. So now we're going to get into X39. But before I do that, I want to introduce our guest this evening. So we have Dr. Walter Young with us, and he started out as in pre-med, and then he went into nursing, and at the University of Miami. He worked in emergency medicine, ICU, and lately interventional radiology. But then he was really taking a look at, go in the path of pathology, or he had this interest in, traditional Chinese medicine. So he took a trip to China, and the rest is history. And he went to Beijing in 1990, and he became a nationally accredited acupuncture physician. Which is very exciting. And so he's got this wonderful combination of an allopathic background with traditional Chinese medicine, which makes it like the perfect fit for what we're doing here. And this man has just got a servant's heart. He's just a beautiful, beautiful man. He currently works at the Boulder Community Healthcare Center, an integrative center with cancer patients. And he also is in private practice in Colorado. So he feels that all practitioners must continue to keep up to date with new research technologies that bring non-invasive, zero side effects that are economical for his patients and clients. And practitioners have an obligation to be open and to share research technologies that take our patients to a paradigm shift in their healthcare. That's why it's such a good fit to be with LifeWave. So welcome, Dr. Walt.
Welcome. Hi, everybody.
There you are. You made it.
I made
it. We get to see you too. I love it. So
yeah.
With your amazing background, being in the conventional allopathic world and the traditional Chinese medicine world, what got you so interested in getting to be involved with LifeWave, Dr. Walt?
Well, one of the things is I always am reading and keeping up to date with what's out there. I'm pretty neurotic about that. And I had heard, I knew about LifeWave way back in 2005. And I took a big jump back there, and I kind of like let it behind. I got a call from Dr. Shanhan Liu. She's a medical doctor, and I've known her for about 15 years. She asked me if I had heard of LifeWave. I said yes. And she said, well, why didn't you tell me? I said, well, what are you trying to tell me? And she said, well, they have a patch called X39 that activates your stem cells. And I said, when do I get started again? How do I get started again? So, I had been purged from the company, and so I restarted again. But that was something that would allow me to, as you guys know, if you handle the pain or any sleep issues with a patient, they're going to heal better. So I was able to heal their pain. I get a lot of people with pain for pain management, and the patches were working just amazing. And they were even totally shocked because I was just patching it right on their clothes. And we were getting very quick results. So I've seen a decrease in my need to do a lot of acupuncture. And so I can hone in on stuff that really interests me more. And it's about the mind and mental illness kind of stuff, because I went through that with my accident and having brain injury and then a stroke. So this has been very valuable for me, because he has other areas that we can adjust the brain with too. So I love the X39.
I got a question. Do you have patches in your hat?
I'm trying them, just like we talked,
Okay, good. Here's my hat. I got patches in my hat. Yep.
That's what I did. Okay, that's pretty much.
We'll get into. I have something different I want to talk to you about based on energy, because we've been talking about that a lot. So I love that you stay current with what's going on out there, and that you knew about LifeWave longer than just about anybody. And we're glad to have you back.
Yeah, they didn't have X39 then, so yeah.
It's the newest product.
And I was interested in LifeWave because of the meridian system that David, is, attuned to. So the energetics. Yes. Everything is going towards frequency and light medicine and energy.
That's the direction and the future of medicine, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Things are changing quite a bit. So let's talk a little bit about, just briefly, because a lot of people, we keep mentioning this word stem cells. And I know we have a lot of guests on the line, and people are hearing what it is, but don't really know what it is. So can you really briefly share what are stem cells and why are they so important?
Sure. The stem cells that we have in our body, I like to call them mother cells, because they can become the cells that we need in the body for healing. So as we age, those mother cells start to decline. And with this wonderful X39, the biophotomodulation helps activate our stem cells through the copper peptide. So we see an increase in them, and you should see an increase in homeostasis. Some of my clients will say right away they feel a difference, and other people don't feel it. So I ask them if there's other things that are going on in their body that they know of, and they don't know, but something else is going on that's being handled. So that's important to know. And drink your water, hydrate.
There you go. There
Yeah,
you go. So stem cells are part of our immune system, and when we're young, like you said, we have a lot, and as we age, we have less. So this wonderful patch that looks like, it's the size of a quarter. It's little, and it looks like a Band-Aid. It gets applied like a Band-Aid, but it does so much more than a Band-Aid. And
yeah,
you mentioned a copper peptide. So we like to invite people to do their own research on this copper
right.
peptide. Do you want to mention a little bit about that?
Sure, the copper peptide is something that has been discovered quite a ways back, but we haven't been able to duplicate it as a supplement until now with LifeWave, that they have the technology through what David has done to be able to activate that copper peptide that's in our body. And that's vital. There's nobody else that has been doing that. We are the only people that can do that. And this copper peptide is important because it directs our stem cells to do what they need to do in your body. If there's inflammation, there's going to be some cytokines, and they'll recognize to go to that area. So it's an amazing paradigm shift in medicine, and we need to get it out. Don't be afraid, get out there and talk about this. And if you can't talk about it, have them go to pubmed.gov and put in GHK-copper and then peptide. They'll be amazed.
I love it. I love it. And this book
There it is.
this is the man, Dr. Lauren Picard, that actually discovered this peptide when he was wanting to eradicate disease. We don't talk about any of the benefits that we don't have clinical proof for, but in this book, you'll read all kinds of things. So, and when you do your own research, so we recommend everyone do that. And what David Schmidt was figured out, what Lauren Picard had discovered, how to activate it, and the billion-dollar companies have been trying to do that unsuccessfully. So when David was able to activate this, he's becoming known all over the world in scientific circles because he cracked a code that has not been able to be cracked.
Right,
It's pretty darn exciting about that. So let's get into, you mentioned the term photobiomodulation, and so did I. It's a very big word, but could
right.
you simplify that for everybody so they know what that actually means?
Absolutely. So the sun is life. And as you know, when plants are fed the sun, the energy or the wavelengths of the sun produce something called, the photobiomodulation or proto. And we utilize that in our body. The sun helps us. You've all had this photobiomodulation happen to you. You go out, you get a sunburn, and you're going to develop a sun tan afterwards, and that's melanin that you're developing. You all know that when a baby has jaundice, we put them under what's called a Billy light, but it's a blue light. And that blue wavelength of that light does a certain thing to the bilirubin in their body to conjugate it, put it together, and then the baby will urinate it out. So these patches have certain minerals and crystals in them that David has put together. And we give off an infrared energy. It's a light. If you put on those night goggles, you can see humans. That's what our army uses. So what happens is we give off this light, it hits these crystals, and it bounces back into our body, telling our body to do a certain thing. That's the modulation part of it. And the way the crystals are arranged, or the type of crystals that are in there, here's where the copper peptide comes in, and it says, aha, time to activate our stem cells, time to get them. You may have enough stem cells, but they're not active enough. And this helps us activate them. So it's a very simple process. It's been going on for centuries. You use it every day. We just are not educated to it. And the same way with light therapy, we can help ourselves with that.
So it's a very non-invasive, safe kind of therapy. And, you explained it so well. When the sun hits our skin, our body creates, the vitamin D so that there's a unique frequency from that form of light. So our body heat activates the patch and creates that frequency that has the change.
Right.
Pretty
And
amazing.
yeah, it
Pretty,
is. Remember, it's activated, probably about 4 inches away from the body. I tell people that. So that's why I can put it in here into the hat. It's not directly on my skin, but it's being activated. So we're waiting to see what happens to Walt's brain.
Walt's brain is doing quite well from my perspective.
Yeah, thank God it is, right?
It really is. Okay, so now let's get to the star of the show, and it's X39. We have this, all the patches look like this, but X39 is extra special. So could you share a little bit about some of the benefits that it actually has?
Right. Some of the benefits, some of my patients have, of course, the pain and inflammation is something, but vitality, being able to do crossword puzzles when they couldn't do them before. So mentation starts to kick in. We have a lot of people that also feel that their body seems to, and I mean, this can be subjective, but they're the ones that are telling me. So they say something different is going on in my body. I bounce out of bed. I feel better. I can work longer and harder, whether it's physical, but I get up and I don't feel tired. I don't have the aches and pains that I used to get with what I was doing, a lot of the activity. So there's vitality. On the inner level, the cellular level, there's immune function that's increased if that's needed. And you'll hear people talk about vitality or not getting as many issues with their, let's say, their sinuses. So it's across the board wherever your body needs it. That's the big thing. You may want it to go over here, but it may be over here because that's where you need it. That's big.
Yeah. I mean, what I've learned is the beauty of stem cells is they have this innate wisdom to go to what is most life-threatening in that order.
Right.
So, I wanted the pain in my knee to go away, but probably they worked on my lungs because I had some damage there. So
Mm,
so they're going to go to what's most important. And like you said with that person earlier that's not noticing things, um, it's still working and it's
right.
working on something important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are the how do you use this? What are the ideal conditions to have it be most effective?
So and I think you may be referring to dehydration. You want to be hydrated. Where you put it is in the back on C7. That's a very major acupuncture point, or about 3 inches below your navel. But in actuality, you can put the X39 pretty much anywhere. And if you're having a pain area and you're pointing to your shoulder, I tell the people, let's put it right here. I patch it right onto their shoulder, um, on their clothes, and they start to see results right away. So it's very, very basic, but I would follow the directions of the creator, and that's the back of the neck and 3 inches below your navel.
And how long?
12 hours, on and off. There's something in medicine called attenuation. And just like we need to sleep, you also need to give your body a break. So the attenuation is a big deal also.
Okay. So some people might feel it quickly, some people not. How do you address that when someone says, "Well, I'm not noticing it," or something feels worse? What do you say to them?
Well, let's go with the worst first. If something is worse, that means it's working on an area of maybe inflammation or something's going on. And you may go through a little detox because as these stem cells or mother cells start to deteriorate, the chemicals that are in there, those are going to flow through your cardiovascular system, and you may feel a little bit punky, like a little lethargic or nauseous. Drink some water. As far as what else can happen if somebody says they're not feeling anything, I tell you've got to give it at least a month, if not 3 months. Let's do the X39 for that time. And every single person has had results. Every single person.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
Sometimes you may not notice it. For some people, it's, very noticeable immediately. And other people, it's much more subtle over time. And it gets better and better, doesn't it?
Better and better.
I
That's
love,
the amazing
I love
thing.
that newest published study on cognitive function that, especially at, baby boomers and beyond age, to know that all the cognitive functions continue to get better and better and better. So we're turning back the clock, you
Yeah.
guys.
I
And
have a gentleman who's relatively healthy for 74 years of age. And one thing that he notices, he does the crossword puzzles, and he says he's now able to do them and finish them. He said his mentation has come back.
isn't that
Yeah,
exciting?
yeah,
Well, I know my reaction time is amazing. And, I had some knee challenges and, I put the patch right here, like you said. And
yeah.
a week later, my knee pain was gone.
Sure. Yep.
Just knows where to go. And then
Does
all these other fun things happen, like my skin, fine lines and wrinkles got better, and my reaction time got better, and all kinds of things. But this is my fun one. My
yep.
finger was stuck in this position for 20 years, and now it can do that.
See?
It's like, I didn't expect anything like that. So there's surprises all the time. So let's see what we got going on here. We have, I remember symptoms only. So this is Vera, and she's asking if a person is experiencing hormonal problems, what would be a good patch? She is undergoing premenopausal symptoms.
Well, since this is X39 tonight, I always recommend you use X39. We have 3 other patches that I call them brain patches. You can use one of those if you would like. But I would try the X39 for at least a month. Let's see what it'll do for you too, if it can help, balance those hormones, because those little stem cells are gonna be flying everywhere to see what needs to be done. Then after that month, we can see which patch you might want to use for the other, such as the Eon or one of the other ones.
Well, you said something very interesting. Now I forgot. So much for my mental clarity, huh? The X39, you can place it anywhere and it's going to go where it's most needed.
Right,
And
right.
so I remembered. We do recommend that people use X39 first before the other patches. And why would you say that?
Well, we want to see what's going on with your body, where things are going to happen. And those stem cells they've been there, but now you're going to get more. So let's see what they can do to help bring you back to homeostasis instead of adding another patch and another patch and another patch. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. Let's see what's going to happen.
I love that. And, we get impatient. We're in this instant
Right,
gratification
right.
society, but the things that happened in our body didn't happen overnight.
Exactly.
So we got to give it some time and things will get better and better. And it's so comprehensive. That may be the only patch people need or want, you know, which is great. And you can put it anywhere. It's going to go where it's needed. It's one thing, 12 hours on, 12 hours off, drink water.
That's it.
That's
Simple.
It's really simple. So compliance is really, really wonderful with this product because it's peel and stick, as Anheuser would say.
Right.
I love it. Let's see if there's anything else. Uh, if possible, please comment on X39 being able to produce anti-aging effects at a cellular level, asked by a new distributor. Not sure how to answer that question.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
How is X39 able to produce anti-aging effects at the cellular level?
Well, because when the stem cells start to work, there's a lot of chemicals involved. There's a lot of cycles involved with these stem cells that I'm not going to get totally into. But part of those are also with your immune system. Part of them are with collagen. There's things that are going to start to happen, and we call it anti-aging. I'd rather refer to it as homeostasis and rebalancing, and you'll see it and you'll feel it.
Great. Great. And we have science to prove it too,
Oh
which
yeah,
is,
tons of science.
and
Yep,
the beauty of stem cells is they regenerate damaged cells. And
exactly.
those old cells, they slough off and sometimes can create some inflammation or pain, which is temporary. So, like you said earlier, if you're feeling you're healing, it's working.
Yes, exactly.
Just get through it and keep it on as long as you can. Take it off if it's too much. Um, what are the best patches to support hair growth?
X39. I'm telling you, X39 is the king of the show. I want you to use that for a good month. I tell my patients I don't want you really adding anything until I'm ready to um, add it with you after you talk to me about what's going on. Let's go that extra little month to see what it can do. Remember, this little thing is working against time and everything that has been happening in your body for this time. So it's going to start to reverse things. Give it some time so we know where we're at and which patch we need to add. Like Robin and I were talking the other day, you might need something that's going to open up more circulation in your body as opposed to Eon for inflammation. Maybe the X39 is going to handle the inflammation adequately. And now I just want to open the meridians more so you get better circulation. So give it some time.
That's wonderful. Um, what patches do you recommend for an eye that has a cataract? I think that's a symptom, right? That's been getting worse.
Well, you might want to put, I don't know which eye it is, you might want to put it right next to the eye on the temporal area here and see what happens. But that's going to be time because the cataract took time to get that way. There's a lot of factors involved in getting a cataract. So you're going to really want to try to give the X39 a chance. And then later on, maybe the energy enhancer to open up all of your meridian systems to get the energy moving.
So because you brought that up a few times, I think it's really good for people to hear. Our focus is on X39, but there are many other patches. And as an acupuncturist, you know about energy flow, and you love that energy patch, don't you?
Yes, I do. I do.
And in talk,
I can see that they'll use the X39, but they're biting at the bit to jump into another patch, and they're talking about, well, let me use the Silent Night or something else. And then when they hear me say, well, I want you to buy the energy enhancer, and they go, what? And then when I explain to them, just like you used to come to me to get acupuncture so I could open those meridians, then they get it.
which is great. And our body needs energy to heal. It
Yes,
makes total sense. So
proper energy.
the energy enhancer patch, and you recommended to me to put it on the bottom of my feet.
Right.
And that was, I hadn't done it there before, and that was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know David wears 2 sets every day,
Oh, does he?
an upper and a lower. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's see what else we got. Let's see. So what would you recommend for very serious life-threatening conditions?
Very serious life-threatening conditions.
That's what
I
they
would
say.
go to your nearest ER. Life-threatening? You just said to a physician, life-threatening.
Yeah, right.
I don't think you meant that, but once again, I say start off with your X39. Our little stem cells are pretty miraculous. These mother cells can turn into other things, and at the
Yep.
same time, they can attack other things too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so here's an interesting question. I've seen ads for stem cell oral supplements. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I know that there's some oral supplements, but here's the thing about taking anything orally. Most Americans have a pretty bad digestive system. One of the first premises that I learned in China was you should never, ever have anything cold with your meal because the product of digestion is energy, which is heat to help those enzymes. So before you can take, if you take something like, I'm sure this person is talking about, um, in Switzerland, they have apple stem cells that they use. You're probably not going to absorb the amount that you need. So it's really a waste. There's nothing else that is out there except injecting them. And we know about the injections of your own stem cells. Expensive, and sometimes they don't work. And then we have our patch. That is really a paradigm shift in our medicine. This is something that you should, really, really consider and relax with all the other stuff. We know now that, and I've known this forever, and my people were like, I don't think you're right. The glutathione supplements, that's crap. I mean, we can't be, somebody like Suzanne Summers injecting herself with an IV of glutathione. We don't have that kind of money, to be doing that. But we have a patch that can really increase through the photobiomodulation your glutathione level.
Mhm.
It's excellent.
Love it. Love it. And apparently the body treats oral glutathione as food and it goes through the GI tract and
That's it.
doesn't do what
Done.
it's designed to do. So that's why the glutathione patch is so powerful. And the lab that was testing it thought that something was wrong with their water when they saw the results from the, and David said, no, it's fine, because it was a 300% increase in 24 hours, which is
Right,
very
right,
exciting.
right.
Okay,
So
let's
that's
see.
one of the big things is to make sure you have your, if you're going to eat, you're having a meal, I don't care what meal it is, have some hot tea with it, or maybe just hot water with a lemon. You'll see a shift in your digestion. I promise it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let's see here. Let's do one more. Do you put the white energy enhancer patch on the bottom of the right foot or both the white and brown on one foot?
If you're talking about energy enhancer, the white always goes on the right side, and the left one is the tan one. So just reach down and put it on what we call kidney 1 on the right, the white one. And on the left side, put your tan one, and it'll start to work.
What helped me understand kidney 1, it's where that little circle under the ball of your foot meets the half circle under your
Right.
toes. That spot
That spot. That
is
spot.
kidney 1. It's a very
Right.
powerful spot, isn't it?
And if you don't get it right on, don't worry about it. It's going to work. It will work. Your body identifies. Here's a very important premise. When you give your body the right energy, frequency, substance, it will know what to do with it. That's something across the board. The body identifies it like that.
Mm, great, 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 great. Well, thank you so much, Dr.
Sure, my pleasure.
We're at the end of our time. We want to thank everyone for joining us. It's always a treat to learn from you.
Oh, thank you.
I love it. Well, I am a big fan now of Energy Enhancer, and I didn't do anything until 90 days of X39. I waited
Yep.
90 days before I did anything else. If someone has acute symptoms, they're in pain, they have a serious disease, see a practitioner or someone that really understands and they can help you with the patches. But really give your body the time, as Dr. Walt says, and let's see what happens. And then all the other patches will work better, you
Right,
know?
right.
And I love what you said is the body is designed to come to homeostasis,
Oh,
and these frequencies help it.
absolutely.
They
When you
don't
give it the
work.
right thing, it knows exactly what to do with it.
Great. Well, you have a lot of people that are fans of yours right now, and
Oh, thank you so much.
they're loving you, and thanking you, and so grateful for you.
Well, I
So
thank them. Thank you so much.
yes, it's always a treat to be with you, and I want to thank everyone who joined us this evening. If you're a guest on the call, please get back to the person who invited you. The patches come with a 30-day risk-free guarantee, and just start. I mean, you've got nothing to lose but your health to gain, and get started. If you like to share, we have a wonderful program for members and distributors that you get rewarded very nicely for changing people's lives. And I know that every day I wake up, and like you do, Walt, and you get to hear miracle stories and
Yes.
witness it, and it's pretty fascinating. So thank you all for being with us this evening, and we have a very bright future, right?
We sure do. Patch away.
All right, patch away. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.